Yeah.
Boop, boop, a doop.
Boop, boop, a doop. Hey, we're live.
Oh, are we now?
Yeah.
Hi, buddy. We are live now, kiddo.
Oh.
I know there's a cat. Hi, Moxie. There you go. Okay, I'm Scray, dude. We got a podcast.
Yeah, he's got serious work to do.
Exactly.
That's allowed.
Yes.
Yeah.
Uh,
Hello and welcome. Episode number 859 of the Player One podcast for Tuesday,
is this
May
the intro?
9th, 2023.
I guess we've started.
I'm your host, Chris Johnston. With me, as always, from Canada, Mr. Greg Seward.
Yellow.
How's it going there, sir?
Pretty good. Why not?
Yeah? Why not? Pretty good. Why not? Yeah, microphone working.
Doing fine. We're all fine here. How are
We're
you?
all fine here. I'm doing well. Thank you. Thank you very much. And joining me from the great state of Washington, Mr. Phil Theobald.
Yeah. That's me.
That is you. Is that a Jet Jaguar? Sure.
It is indeed a Jet Jaguar
Nice.
from the hit 1973 film Godzilla vs. Megalon.
Excellent. Yeah.
Punch, punch, punch.
Uh-huh.
So goes the Jet Jaguar theme song.
I see.
Yeah.
Yeah. Indeed. All right.
Mhm.
Well, here we
Yeah.
are once again.
Here
And,
we are.
Couple
Face
of
to
silver
face.
spoons. Yeah.
A trio of silver spoons. Open to find with three of a kind.
Yeah, keep going.
Is that how the Silver Spoons theme went?
Well, there are a couple of silver spoons.
I know
There's
that.
not three of
yeah.
them.
I got that, but I don't remember that theme song at all.
Trying to
I
find
barely
through
remember
the
that
make-
show. I didn't really watch it.
Making a
No?
call,
I remember him having the coolest bedroom in the history of bedrooms.
doing it all. I
What
don't
about the
remember.
arcade machines in the living room?
Right.
Oh, was it the living?
I believe it was the living room.
The one that had like
The
the train
foyer.
and everything, and
There was the
Okay.
train.
That's
Yeah.
the room I was thinking of.
Yeah.
The train. Yeah.
Yeah.
With the arcade machines. Yeah.
Yeah.
I watched that show. Who didn't watch that show? who's around our age?
I just said I didn't watch it very
Yeah,
much.
but you don't count.
My. Wow.
Did you watch
I was busy watching reruns of the Beachcombers and the Raccoons.
what?
You
I know what the Raccoons is.
Yeah, I know Phil knows the
I
Raccoons.
don't think I got that at all. That
But
went
the
right over my
Beachcombers
head.
was another Canadian show.
Yeah.
Pre Degrassi.
Yeah.
I only know one beachcomber, and he turns into a dune buggy.
Mm-hmm.
That's
I
right.
see. Oh, you talk about Automan?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. I'm talking about Auto Man. Try and find a time when I'm not talking about Auto Man. Good luck.
I know.
You're gonna
This
need
is
it.
what I'm saying.
Yep.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Let's kick this
Great
off.
start.
Let's talk about some video game news. Greg, I want to ask you, did you watch the trailer to the Gran Turismo movie? And what are your thoughts on that? Besides David Harbour telling you what a nerd you are for playing video games.
But seriously, like, how long was that trailer? 2 minutes?
2.5 minutes. I think we saw probably every scene of David Harbour.
Yeah, we've seen the movie.
Disparaging video games.
It's like I got it. I got the first time because clearly he's like the grizzled old.
Yeah.
Well, we would call them a crew chief, I guess, but that's probably not what they're called in that particular racing series. But yeah, who's just like, oh man, you're just gonna put some citizen in a professional racing series, and it's like, okay, yeah, let's get that out of the way. That makes sense. But yeah, it was
Sure.
like every other scene would come back. It's like,
That was
know,
every scene.
guys, you race are elite athletes. You're scrawny little gamer kids. It's like, okay, we get it, dude. We get it. Like,
Oh,
you're
is
not
that-
wrong.
I haven't watched
But-
this trailer.
Oh my god.
That's the premise.
Well, it's
Wow.
so I think it's said it's based on a true story. So if you
It
remember
is.
back when I think it was like the PS3 era when
Okay.
Sony was doing TV content, television content that you would download directly on your PlayStation.
Okay. I
And
don't
one of the
remember
things
this.
Okay, well, one of the
You
things they
remember
had
the
going for
gamer?
it.
The gamer?
Yeah, the
The
gamer.
reality series that they did?
Remember the Tester?
Yeah.
Didn't they
The
have one
Oh, I
called
Tester.
do. I do
Tester?
remember that. Yeah.
So that
Yeah, that's
era.
right.
So they also had a series. I
Okay.
forget what it was called, but where they took like the best some guys who won Gran Turismo tournaments.
Okay.
And it was a reality show where they all went to like Silverstone in the UK and they went through
Silverstones together.
they went through a series of challenges, but they were built around becoming actual race car drivers.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And whoever won the show, like won the challenges, the ultimate challenge, ended up getting a development contract with Nissan to actually race in a professional series. And a couple of them went on to actually be professional drivers.
Oh.
And I'm pretty sure this movie is based on one of those people.
Oh, I see.
Now they've changed it so that they're playing Gran Turismo 7 instead of, I think it was 5 back then. So I think that's what it's based on. But yeah, like the trailer takes you through the whole movie.
Okay.
It reminds me so much of like trailers in the 70s. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Where it's just like
Basically spoil the whole thing for you.
we'll give you the whole story arc right in this, this 180 seconds.
I mean, a lot of trailers today do that as well. I mean, Sony in particular.
Yeah, well,
the
there you
Sony
go.
Pictures trailers.
Yeah,
are somewhat notorious for
does
this.
it. But the sort of each piece of like the storyline is broken up with David Harbour talking to somebody or on a radio talking about scrawny gamer kids or living in their parents' basements or
these kids are just twiddling their thumbs. They'll never be good behind a wheel.
It just keeps going. It's so I was like, Jesus.
It's like every line of dialogue out of his mouth during the trailer.
It's too bad because I like David Harbour, but it was just like, man,
Right.
dialogue is ridiculous. Anyway, this is the true story of Jan Mardenborough.
Oh,
apparently.
Does the trailer have "Moons Over My Hammy" in it?
No. Where's the pity?
That's a shame.
Moon over the castle.
Is that what it is?
Moon over the castle.
Yep.
Hmm.
One's
you're talking about a Denny's
Gran
dish.
Turismo. The other is an item on the Denny's menu.
Yeah.
Mm.
Which we know you'd be way more familiar with. But.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, I mean, I don't know that I'll go see it day one. I'm not offended or anything. I don't have high expectations for it.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'll wait till
pretty much you've seen the entire story arc of the movie.
True.
I don't think there's any mystery left.
Plus, I used to watch the show. It was a good show. I really enjoyed it. I was sad when they discontinued it, but
yeah.
I think shows are
you
canceled.
lived it. You lived it.
No, I didn't. I didn't live it.
Oh, okay.
But anyway.
Well then, that's a thing that's happening. All right, let's talk about Apple Arcade for a second here. Because for some reason, Apple decided on a Thursday to drop 20 new games onto the service, like you do.
Okay.
Yeah.
For you, it was the revival of Apple Arcade, but for Apple, it was just a Thursday.
I guess so. Yeah.
I mean, for most people, it was just a Thursday.
That's
True.
fair.
Yeah.
May the 4th be with you.
Nope.
And so we got like 4 debuts. There's a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Splintered Fate game. It's kind of a roguelite with the turtles.
Like a Hades kind
of
thing.
Hades style roguelite. Yeah, exactly. What the Car, which is a 3rd game from the developers of What the Golf and What the Bat.
Right.
But you're a car this time.
Yep.
Disney Spellstruck, which is a Words with Friends style word game.
It's Scrabble.
It's Scrabble.
It's Disney Scrabble.
Disney Scrabble. And actually, it's really quite fun. And then Cityscapes Sim Builder, which I have not at all played, but it is a city builder, much like Sim City back in the day.
Interesting.
And then a whole bunch of the rest of the games that dropped are games that are on the App Store but have microtransactions and maybe ads as well. And those are like plus versions of those games. So no microtransactions, no ads. And
What are some of those games that have made that jump?
Well, I guess some of them aren't free to play games as well. So you have things like Getting Over It, the Bennett Foddy game. You have Limbo. You have Octodad, Deadliest Catch.
Okay.
You have Temple Run. Remember Temple Run?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Very popular game.
Very
Mhm.
Little Nightmares, stuff like that. So, yeah.
I've heard of a couple of those.
Hill Climb Racing. You very familiar with Hill Climb Racing?
I don't know if I've heard of
It's
that.
actually
game.
a huge hit on mobile.
That doesn't surprise
There
me.
have been multiple Hill Climb Racings, but yeah, they now have one on Apple Arcade. So those
All
are
right.
available if you happen to have a membership to that, which I do, and I played a few of these. So we shall talk about them during what you've been playing.
Please look forward to it.
Please
Yeah.
look forward to that. So Lego 2K Drive is coming out pretty quick here. I think in another week or two, week and a half.
The biggest game released this month.
Nope. That's
I mean,
humanity.
after
Come
humanity.
Come on.
I mean, after
Wow.
humanity.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But 2K Drive, Lego 2K Drive is going to have a Drive Pass. So it's going to have seasons of content.
Mhm.
And the Drive Pass gives you access to 4 of those seasons. And it's interesting in that it is another example of a game that has season passes, but these do not expire. You're basically just adding on to the content that you can earn in the game. So as time continues to roll on, you just have 4 seasons worth of content that you can unlock. You don't have to play them in the 3-month span of time that video game seasons are often held in, like in a Fortnite or a Rocket League or
How much does
what
this
have
game
you.
cost?
It
It's
is
not
a
cheap.
full price games.
Yeah.
It is a full price game. So
Did it say how much these
Yes.
season passes are going to cost?
I don't see that information in here, but Drive Pass, if it has 4 seasons, yeah, it might be like $20.
20
Wouldn't
bucks
be
each?
shocked. Wouldn't be shocked. But
Uh-huh.
but
So,
hey, you
yeah,
can play that in your own pace, no fear of missing out.
I
kind
do.
of
I
thing.
do like that because I will say that like the FOMO thing turns me off immediately. Like
Yeah.
if there's any game where the second you say do this now,
You're out.
I'm done. Like I don't want to play your game at that point.
Right.
Yeah.
Because
But it is
I
a
play
very
I play the games at my
extremely
own
successful
pace.
model.
Oh no, I know it
Extremely
is. I'm just
successful.
saying. So that's why I'm saying I'm happy to see that they're taking that out.
So
That's-
far, the model
nice.
where you don't have the FOMO, I don't think has turned into as much of a success. But
You mean the model we've been using for 50 years?
no, having season passes where you can do them at any
season
time.
pass model. Yeah, no,
season
no.
pass
I'm
model.
okay. I'm not arguing that it's a better business decision.
No,
I'm saying that I'm glad they're doing it because
me too.
for me personally, as soon as if there's a game that I'm interested in, as soon as I hear, oh, and you need a season pass and you have 3 months to earn all the stuff that's in that pass, I'll pass. Like
You'll pass on the pass.
I'm
Oh, I
not
see.
interested. I'm not interested at all. So I am happy to hear that. However,
Mhm.
games are $100 right now.
Well,
And you're already telling me there's going to be like possibly another $80 to $100 I have to spend to get everything else in the game. Like that's still no good, man. Like I'm just not. Yeah.
Well, if this is anything like other games that have done this same model, it'll be like a regular season pass in a game. There'll be a free tier and a premium tier. So
that's what it says in the article. Yeah.
You will be able to play and earn this stuff, whether you want to pay for the bonuses that you're earning now, or you can wait and unlock all that stuff later. So if you wanted to like see how you like the game, see if the premium pass is worth it for you. You can still continue to get progression and then decide that at a later time, which I think is great.
Like I said, it's better. But
Yeah.
I'm still like, I don't know. I'm just getting really, really so tired of being nickeled and dimed like crazy every single,
Yeah.
I
But
was
this is
kind of
also-
interested. I was kind of interested in this, and now
Yeah.
knowing that we're doing season passes again, I'm glad it's not like timed stuff. But
Mhm.
I don't. Man, I just want to play my game. The game I just spent $100 on. Don't.
And you'll be able
The
to.
first time I turn but the first time I turn it on, the first thing that happens is, oh, you should spend more money. It's like, come on. Like that was the same thing that turned me off with the Formula One game last year, which
Mm.
for years I've loved those Codemasters games, and then EA took it over, and you had to wade through this front end, which was just a big catalog
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
all this crap you could spend money on. That, like, I just finished spending $100 on this.
Yeah.
Stop asking me for more money right away. If you're gonna do that, make it free to play. Seriously, like I'm just saying, I'm just
Well,
sick
that's
of the
not
whole
gonna
like premium free to play crap that we're
No,
dealing
but
with,
I think
especially on the
part of
console
that-
side.
Okay.
Just
I
saying.
understand it. But from the perspective of some of these companies that, obviously spend a lot in the development of some of these games, and some of these games
Yep.
will have additional life within the catalogs of PlayStation Plus and Game Pass, where those publishers are, receiving money, but not directly from the consumer.
Mhm.
They want to be able to have these sorts of things in there, right? So that they can
Yeah.
sell something to customers who aren't even paying for these in the first place.
No, and I get it. And like I said, I get it from a business standpoint. I absolutely do. But it's just that we have all these conversations about games becoming more expensive, and in the meantime, we're still
Yeah.
being asked for, like, the second you turn on your game, the hands out for more. And it's just like,
I
man,
don't-
I
well,
just yeah.
Season 1 of this does not start until June. So the game
Okay.
comes out in May. Season 1 doesn't start until June.
So it's $100 for the first 4 weeks.
We haven't even touched this game. I don't even know what the what the model is yet, and you're already saying that it's evil. How dare these companies? Is that what you're saying? That's what you're saying.
No, I'm saying that
Hmm.
I don't. I'm just saying that I feel I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. I'm not into. I reading this article made me lose what interest I had in the game. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
And here I pre-ordered the
Yeah, but you pre-ordered it for the Lego set.
awesome edition,
Let's be awesome.
which comes with the season pass,
Comes with
Yeah.
the season pass.
But you ordered it
So-
for the Lego set, right?
and it does come with a little Lego set.
Yeah.
So absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, I imagine the game itself will
Phil,
have
what
plenty
they
of
didn't
content.
tell you is you're getting half the Lego set.
Well, you know what? I'll just go on
June, you
Bricklink
have
and just
to-
buy
yeah,
the.
there you go.
I'll just buy the pieces I need
There you
for
go.
cheap.
There you go. But hey, I am glad to see more companies sort of dabbling with this idea of battle passes that don't expire, and this sort of content that continues to sort of build up. No matter when you jump into a game, you can earn all this stuff. Like, I like that approach. And I know, Greg,
I do
it
like
doesn't
that.
seem like you do, but for the people who only get or maybe only play a few games a year, to be able to completely wring out as much content as they can from them if they like them, I'm in favor of that. So yeah,
Okay.
that's the way I look at it. All right, did you guys see the trailer for Double Dragon Gaiden Rise of the Dragons?
Does this
Didn't
game
watch
have
the
any
trailer,
dark
but
patterns in it?
The screenshots look awesome.
No dark patterns. No.
Okay.
Not that I'm aware of anyway.
Okay.
Yeah.
I did see this. Yes.
I really like the style.
I like the style as well. Obviously, pixel art, beat 'em up type thing. By the end of the trailer, I was already getting a little bit sick of some of the voice clips that were already repeating quite a lot during the trailer. But that's a small thing, I suppose.
That's a beat 'em up thing.
That's
Yeah.
a beat 'em up thing. Yeah. I guess that's true. And hey, this comes out in 2023. Developed by Secret Base, published by Modus Games. Coming out for
What else
everything.
has Secret Base done?
I don't know.
Tappa, tappa, tappa. Google, Google, Google.
Google, Google, Google. From Singapore.
Okay.
Indie Game Studio. They have done Streets of Red.
I don't know what
Streets
that
of,
is.
Streets of Rage style game.
Okay.
Bite Jacker, Tobes Vertical Adventure. That was.
I played Tobes Vertical. I liked Tobes Vertical Adventure.
There you go.
Yeah, well, there you go. That's Secret Base.
That was
Double Dragon Gaiden.
That's an old game.
It is, yeah.
They've been
Quite
around
a
for a
few-
while then.
Quite a few years ago. Yes.
I enjoyed that game though.
Yeah. All right. It's not on this list, but did you hear that Atari bought a whole bunch of other IP?
Oh, more?
Yeah,
They can't
'Cause
stop.
didn't we talk about this last week?
we did. They just bought a whole bunch of M Network games too.
What's in?
Let me see.
Oh, Mnet. Wow,
Yeah,
I haven't heard
M
that name in a
Network
long
is
time.
Mattel
Yeah.
did a bunch of games here. Let me load up the so games like Armor Ambush, Astro Blast, Frogs and Flies, Space Attack, and Star Strike. M Network, Atari 2600 titles and related trademarks. More than a dozen games initially
Cool.
published under the M Network label.
Now hold on.
Yeah.
Does this mean that they have the rights to the 2600 Kool-Aid Man game?
Possibly.
I feel like there's probably more
Yes.
complicated rights wrangling to deal with that. though,
Probably, but
I mean, the rights to they could certainly license Kool-Aid Man for a 3D remake.
Why?
Yeah. Right?
oh yes,
It's gotta be cheap.
as the Kool-Aid Man is wont to say.
when did the rights expire on that? Like Mickey Mouse? When does
On
the
Kool-Aid
trademark
Man?
rights on
When
Kool-Aid
does
Man?
Kool-Aid Man go into public domain?
knows?
When does it go into the public domain?
I'm
That'd
looking
be
forward to all the terrible low-budget gore fest Kool-Aid Man movies.
Fun fact: Warren Beatty
yeah.
actually owns the rights to Kool-Aid Man,
Ooh,
so
that
he'll
is
just
fun
do a
fact.
little Kool-Aid Man thing every year.
He has to do a
Renew
special
those
on
rights.
TNT.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you see that last thing he did?
I didn't even know it was a thing. I just saw it pop up somewhere.
We're referencing the fact that Warren Beatty, for some
Really
reason,
believes in the Dick Tracy franchise.
really wants to own Dick Tracy.
Yeah. He wants to
He's
be
convinced
the
it's just a
only
matter of time
Dick
before
Tracy
the kids are
in
like, yeah,
film history. I think
let's get
he
the Dick
wants
Tracy
to-
multiverse going. And he's
So
going to
has
be
he
there
been
to
doing that
cash in.
for? Has he been doing that for years, or is this the first time that he's done?
It's not the first time.
No, he's done
No.
it at least once before.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so clearly, I mean, he starred in and produced. I don't know if he directed it, but the Dick Tracy movie from the
I-
I think he
1990.
did.
I think he did direct it. Yeah.
direct it.
Okay, and yeah, so he's clearly got something in the contract somewhere that says that he has to create content featuring Dick Tracy every X number of months or years to to renew that contract. And apparently this is a thing he's been doing. So he's
Yeah.
been doing stuff as Dick Tracy.
Yeah. That's the reason why that Roger Corman Fantastic Four movie exists.
No, really.
Yeah.
You know,
That's right.
they made that. I don't believe they have had any intention of releasing it, but it was just we need to do
Use
something
this
with it to keep the rights.
It's crazy.
Yeah. It's a shame we never got to see that because the stills that I've seen look fun. I don't know.
Oh, you haven't seen
By
it?
fun, I mean probably terrible.
I mean, it's out there. You can see it.
Out there, you can see it. Really?
Oh, absolutely.
I need to do a YouTube search, although it's probably
Absolutely.
on places other than YouTube. But yeah. All right. There's a rumor.
Oh, I love rumors.
Don't you love rumors that
Are you talking to Quarterman? We're talking to Quarterman here.
You are, yeah. Jez Corden from Windows Central says that we might be getting a Dead Rising reboot.
Oh,
It's been a while since we've covered any wars.
Well, the thing I want to bring up is, to me, it seems like Capcom has been trying to recapture the magic of the original Dead Rising for like 4+ games at this point. You know, even with the second game, they redid it with Frank as
Oh, yeah.
as the lead, and
Mhm.
they still weren't able to recapture that magic. I really enjoyed the fourth game. I know a lot of people did not,
didn't
but I
really
really
play it.
enjoyed it. And I guess now they're going to try to remake the first game. So my question to you is, what would you want to see from a Dead Rising 1 remake? Are you interested in a Dead Rising 1 remake?
I would be.
Yeah.
You know what?
I play that.
This is going to sound a little kind of cliche, I guess, because this kind of seems to be the go-to genre for this sort of thing. But I think Dead Rising would work really well as a roguelite.
Phil, let me just bring this up. Dead Rising already was.
Well, that's just it, right?
But maybe they should say it more explicitly
They
than
didn't
it
call it
is.
that?
Well, you know,
Call
hey,
it that and set expectations so that people don't complain when.
let's. I think what we're saying here
Yeah,
is that Dead Rising was ahead of its time.
it absolutely was. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely was.
So there you go. Yeah, they just need to lean into it more.
I think they do need to lean into it more
Yep.
for sure. Maybe make it clearer the way the mechanics work, but also I don't want them to change how the mechanics in the original worked, because that's how they have messed up the second, third, and fourth game.
Right.
They have not gone back to some of the concepts that worked in the first game, because people, when the original Dead Rising came out, people online professed to hate those mechanics, like having
Right.
to uh you die and go back to the start. You can't save everybody in the mall, which are, trade-offs that you have to have in that game. That's just the way that game is set up. And I really enjoyed those trade-offs, and
Mhm.
really enjoyed that game, and hope that they are able to recapture the magic, but don't change those mechanics that made it good in the first place.
Yeah. Lean into the goofiness of it,
Yes.
because that's like, again, the first game kind of
Super
leaned into
goofy.
the silliness of it, and it worked
It's
in its
super
favor quite a bit.
super silly. Yeah.
Yeah. So
But you get the double chainsaws, you get the magazines that power everything up.
yep,
Yeah, it's
it'd be
good.
great.
It's so good.
It was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
I love Dead Rising. Although the fourth game was really fun in its own way. It was
I did not play it.
super cheesy,
Okay.
Was it the
which I
third game where it felt
appreciated.
like
I
they were
don't think
trying to go
anybody else
serious?
appreciated that. They were trying to go. The third one
Yeah.
tried to go serious. Yeah.
It kind of killed the mood
Yeah.
a little bit on that
Yeah.
one.
The second one too was kind of more serious tone.
Hmm.
I never played very much of the second one. But
The only one I spent any real amount of time with was the first one.
Yeah. Same here.
I tried 2 and 3, but they didn't hold my interest for very long.
Yeah.
No. All righty, and I guess that means we're at what you've been playing.
Oh my.
Yeah,
Man, we're efficient.
we are so efficient tonight, and I will kick us off. I've been playing some of those Apple Arcade games that came out, including Disney Spellstruck, which is the Disney-fied Scrabble game / Words with Friends, apparently designed by the guy who originally did Words with Friends before he sold that to, I think Zynga owns it, or
Oh
owned
really?
it at a certain point. Yeah. But it is a Disney themed Words with Friends game. And there is a single player versus the computer element to it. You do not have to play against real people.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, and you
Real people
unlock
suck.
various Disney characters that have different powers that you can activate by spelling words in particular squares of the board. So I think you start with Mickey Mouse, and if you place a tile in his special power up square, he adds more power up squares to the board for your next turn. So
Okay.
you have a lot more options there to increase your point total. And who do I have now? I have Tiana is who I'm playing with now in the sort
One
of
of my
second
youngest favorite princesses.
area of the game. But you can unlock Buzz Lightyear, Stitch is in there. Who else?
Another one
Captain
of my
Hook.
youngest favorites.
A lot of fun Disney characters, and they're sort of done in a very like thick lined style, sort of cutesy style.
Yeah.
And it looks really good. It's a really, really polished game.
If you spell the
And-
word Shrek, you automatically lose.
I won one of my first games. I cleared out my tiles by spelling the word boinking.
Oh boy.
So I was very proud of that. I got a lot of points for that word.
And barred from all Disney parks for life.
That's right. Yes. But yeah, hey, it's a lot of fun. And you can play against real people too. You can send challenges over Game Center. I
Nice.
noticed, Phil, you've been playing Spellstruck as well.
I tried it out.
Game Center friends.
Oh yes.
And we can
I
see
can't
that
hide from you, can I?
you cannot.
No.
I mean, you
I
could
s-
unfriend him.
Oh yeah, that's true.
That is the way you would hide. Yeah.
But yeah, I tried it out. I all I did was I just played the first couple matches against the computer
Okay.
just to see what it was like.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this is like Scrabble.
It is exactly Scrabble.
And then I was like, well,
Which is famously based on Words with Friends.
yes.
Famously. Yeah.
I do remember they came out with a board game version of
Yeah.
Words with Friends, and I was just like, what
It's
are we
Scrabble.
doing here?
That's right. It's like Street Fighter, the game of the movie. It's it's eating its own tail. What are you talking about? All right.
Ouroboros?
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I played some of Spellstruck, and then I loaded up Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Splintered Fate, which is the Hades-like
Yes.
game. And hey, it's really Hades-like.
I played very little bit of this as well. So little that I didn't bother putting it on my list for this week.
But it is super fun. I played through the first little bit, after which you start as Leonardo, I think.
Yep.
Right.
Yes, you do.
And then you unlock the other turtles, and you find out that something has happened to Master Splinter, and that kind of sets you down the path of the game. But because it's a mobile game, it uses on-screen buttons, and I believe
Greg,
you
what
can
happened
hold those down.
was that a letter from Shredder had Splinter abducted.
That was probably the last straw.
Oh yeah, yeah. So that was when the turtles spring into action.
Mm.
They're gonna
Step on the foot, so they're gonna lose traction.
See, here's the thing. This is for real.
Oh,
Okay.
they fight for justice.
Yeah, well, it's because their shell is so hard. They shout that you can't dust them off.
Like an old coffee table?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Since those turtles were born, let me tell you, they have been willing and able
To defeat the sneaks?
to protect the weak
Fight for right.
and your freedom to speak.
Well, I think the villain is chilling.
Yeah, well, this is when they make their stand.
Back to the wall.
Absolutely, they have their swords in their hands.
They should remember the words of their teacher, their master.
Oh, are you talking about how evil moves fast?
Right, but good moves faster.
Right, but like faster than light, shining from their illumination.
Good versus evil
Yeah.
equals confrontation.
Absolutely. CJ left. CJ left.
He doesn't appreciate hip hop. That's all. It's a racism thing.
Oh,
The only hip hop CJ likes is 2 Live Crew.
that is very true.
I'm back.
Oh, he's back.
You guys done?
Call April O'Neil in on this case, and you better hurry up. There's no time to waste. We need help like quick on the double. Have pity on the city. Man, it's in trouble.
Well, anyway, this
is already my favorite episode.
A very good Hades-like game, and the attacks are fun.
Yeah.
The power-ups are fun. It looks great. I have not played it on a TV yet. It is available for play like on the Apple TV as well. But I've just played it on iPhone. But yeah, it's pretty good.
I wonder
Impressed with it.
I wonder if they're going to bring this. I mean, this is going to sound mean, but I hope they bring it out on a real system.
Right?
I know. I'll just get a backbone controller.
I'm not going to do that.
Fine. Yeah.
I'm not going to buy.
For the minutes of mobile games I play every year. No, I'm not.
Yeah,
buying
really.
the
You have an iPad, just download it on there and then use your Xbox or PlayStation controller as a Bluetooth controller to play it.
I mean, I have an Apple TV as well. I could download it to the Apple TV and
play it on your television.
but
It would basically be the same as if it was on Switch or PS4,
I know, but
not as
wanna have to-
convenient.
I don't want to have to sync my PlayStation controller to my Apple TV. That's more trouble than
Yeah.
it's worth.
Yeah, I
But
hear
it's
you on
already
that.
synced to your PlayStation.
Yeah.
Precisely.
Yep.
I don't know.
Indeed. But hey, it's there and it's pretty darn good. And
It does seem pretty good.
Maybe it will come out on other platforms eventually. I have to imagine it will.
Would be nice.
It's on Apple Arcade right now. So
Well, when you're in trouble, don't give in and go sour.
I see.
I usually try to
turtle power.
rely on my turtle power.
That's the way to do it, Greg.
All right.
Absolutely.
I've also been playing a little bit of Deceive Inc. Still,
I don't have a
playing
song for that one.
You don't have a song for that
No.
one? Well, it does involve sneaking, but it's not Sneak King.
Well, that's not nearly as
different game.
interesting.
Yeah, but you can be the Sneak King if you win a match of Deceive Inc. See, that's how that works. No.
Like
You
the
need
actual.
you need a cricket sound on your soundboard there, Phil.
Here, Burger
Basi-
King's closing a whole bunch of restaurants.
Are they
No.
really?
Yes. I heard upwards of like 400 or so. Burger Kings are closing, and clearly the problem is not
Ah.
enough Xbox games.
Right.
Clearly.
Mhm.
I don't remember hearing about 400 stores closing when Sneak King came out.
Absolutely.
That's science.
Yep.
That is science. Yeah. I'm still enjoying Deceive Inc. It's fun to just kind of hop in and pretend to be an NPC and see if you can get the upper hand on other players who are trying to extract the package from the level. You're not told how many players are left in the match, so oftentimes it'll come down to like a firefight at the very last moment, and I've won like at the extraction point by killing the person with the package. It's very, very nice, very, very satisfying to do that and not have to actually deal with other players looking to kill you. So, because you look like an NPC, it's hard for them to determine whether you're a player or an NPC. Anyway,
Okay.
I will let you guys talk about what you've been playing. Let's start with Greg.
Wow, CJ just like highlighted the line in the outline for my
Yeah.
games.
I did.
Focus
So I
on
tried-
this, Greg.
I had someone gift me a game this week.
Oh,
It was CJ.
Oh,
He sent it to me.
They sound like a very nice person. Oh, you're talking about me. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's called Tape to Tape.
yeah.
It's a hockey roguelite.
Oh, I've heard
think.
about this game.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm not sure what makes it a roguelite because honestly, I couldn't give you a definition of what that means. I know we talk about them a lot on the show, but I kind of just tune out when we do. So, but it's a hockey game. It's basically a hockey game where you get a bunch of
But it's a
different
run-based
perks.
hockey game, right? That's what
Ooh.
makes it
Is
a
it?
roguelike.
Is that what it is? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you just you earn a bunch of perks and stuff like that, and special abilities. Like when I start out, my main character's special ability, when I don't know when it's charged. I haven't really figured out what charges it exactly. But when you press like the Y button or the equivalent on whatever controller you're using, I'm talking about like a 360 controller, he'll fire the puck at somebody's head to knock them out for a while so that they're not part of the play anymore. And yeah, like you can, as you finish games and as you choose like you have a map where you'll have like a game and then there's like two different paths you can take, and depending on the path you take, it's like this thing happened. It's like a story element, and it's like here are these perks you can unlock now from one of your players, or you can swap out a player, or and it's like they move 20% faster when they don't have the puck, or if your team's losing, everyone's abilities are like increased by 50%, or just things like that. And then you move on to the next sort of point on the map and you play a game, and usually the games are different rules. Like the first game I played was first goal wins, so it wasn't like a full game of hockey, and then the second game I played was only 2 periods and stuff like that. And it's interesting. It's not done. It's in early access. It's kind of very clearly not done. Is what I came away from it with. It's got potential. It's interesting. But the balance is kind of all over the place. So it didn't leave an amazing impression. But I mean, they warn you up front, like, we're not done balancing this. This is what it's in early access for. We need your help. Come to Discord, which I'm not about to do. But it's an interesting idea. It plays, to me, it plays kind of like an NHL 94, which is great. That's a great game. It is definitely like an overhead hockey game in that old EA style from like the 16-bit console days. And it feels good. Like the physics of it feel really nice too. So like all in all, it's enjoyable, and I think when it's done and it's balanced well, it's going to be a good game. But for now, it's just a sort of a collection of interesting ideas and a good physics engine for the game. Like one of the things that I really kind of like is they've managed to, obviously because it's a much more modern game, but like if you fire a puck into a crowd, it'll tend to bounce off a lot of players and limbs and stuff like that, to the point that they actually call that out in the tutorial, which is nice because that's much more realistic than it getting glued to someone's stick because they happen to be standing there, that sort of thing. So yeah, all in all, it's pretty interesting. Not something I'm going to go back to again, I don't think, before it's out of early access. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. So, I also this week played it was my 3DS. So I previously had a capture card installed in my 3DS. My 3DS XL, whatever the next to most recent 3DS console is that I own. I didn't want to fiddle with my my final 3DS console. Because we all bought multiple versions of it, I think. Yeah, with the idea of being able to stream games. And I did that for the first time this past week. I streamed Elite Beat Agents on my Twitch channel because it was requested by one of my Extra Life donors. I hadn't played that game probably since it was new. Man, that's a good game.
Oh,
That's
absolutely.
a great game.
Yeah. I'd forgotten Excuse me, I'd forgotten. Like when they brought it here, it's what's called Uendon, I think is the name of the
Oendon.
Oendon,
Yeah.
is the name of the series, and I think there were at least 2 of them in Japan, right?
There were 2.
Right. They only brought the first one here. When they brought it here,
They
they
actually
licensed a bunch of music.
They didn't
is-
really bring the first
It's a
one
completely
here.
different game.
It's a different game.
different?
Well, I mean, the gameplay is identical,
Right.
but the stages, the songs and the stages are all
I knew the
completely
songs were
different.
completely different, but I just assumed that they'd been
No,
really.
there are functionally 3 games in that series.
That's right. Yeah, 3 games.
Wow. Okay.
Mhm.
Well, there
Yeah.
I've learned something new.
Absolutely.
Well, I thought we were talking about that while I was playing it, and I honestly thought that was brilliant. I mean, I'm sure it would have been great to get the Japanese versions as well, but I mean, like CJ pointed out earlier in the show, what really matters is what's best for the business. So I think that they
Wow.
no, but I do think it was a good. Wow, that made Phil laugh so hard he fell over and disconnected.
Yeah.
No, I think that it made great sense to do it that way and to put in that sort of time. And it's interesting that Nintendo would put in sort of the time and effort to do something with such a weird game.
Yeah.
From the
But they
standpoint
had
of
to
what we would
because
normally get
the
here.
songs in the Japanese version were
Licensed
licensed
as well, I assume. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's your Elite Beat agents.
Right.
And the music in that game is sort of tied to the stages and the story
Yeah.
being told.
Right.
Really.
There are your 2 Japanese ones.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, completely
It's
different
harder.
characters.
Yeah, I had no idea
Harder
that they were
to-
different levels.
Oh yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, so the story, for anyone who's never played it, the storyline is that it's so stupid. You just have people in these various different, like the first level is like a 17-year-old girl who wants to go steady with her football boyfriend, and she invites him over, but then some woman that she babysits for appears out of nowhere and drops their 3 children off and says, "Can you babysit? Thanks." And then she takes off. And so she calls for help from the Elite Beat agents who show up, and what the heck is the song? I forget what the first song is. But
Is
anyway,
it Walkie Talkie Man?
I don't think so.
Was that the first stage? I don't
No.
remember.
Yeah.
I don't think it is. But
It's been a
anyway,
while.
by tapping the screen to the rhythm and everything, they dance, and through the power of dance, there's a whole like comic strip that plays up on the top screen, and that's you overcome all her problems, like the baby needs the diaper change and God knows what else. I forget it all now, but it's just ridiculous. It's so stupid and it's so much fun. And the fact that you're playing this licensed music just really helps a lot. But I'd forgotten there's one stage that I remembered the music because I wasn't expecting it. They play The Inspiration by Chicago
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Peter
in one
Cetera.
stage. Peter Cetera. And well, no, that was a Chicago song.
I think you're
believe.
right. I think you're right. It is.
I mean, he sang it,
But he's the lead singer.
It was
right,
a release
of
by Chicago. Anyway, I'd forgotten. I don't know why I didn't remember why it had stuck with me until I played it again this past week. I completely forgotten. It was all about this kid's father dying.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it was really depressing. Anyway,
The if I remember correctly, both of the Oendon games also have a like touching, heartfelt, sad stage as well.
does it sit like right
Yeah,
in the middle
yeah.
of the
Yeah.
like right in the because the storyline for it was like this kid's father is going on a business trip and says, "What can I get you? What gift can I get you?" And she says, she has a teddy bear. And she says, "I want a boyfriend or a girlfriend for my teddy bear." Okay. And daddy promised you'll be home soon. And I promise. And then he walks away. And then it's like flashes to 6 months later. And the little girl's like talking about when daddy's going to come home still. And her mother finally just like, "Stop talking about him. He's never coming home." And like she's crying. And it's like, holy crap, this just got really deep all of a sudden. And then when he's walking, he starts to at the final scene, he's walking in. It's like, oh, he wasn't dead. Oh no, yes, he was. He's a ghost.
Yeah.
He's transparent. But they hug him. So then you start to wonder, are they dead too?
Oh.
The real dark
Mm,
side of Elite Beat Agent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See?
Mm.
Anyway, it was a lot of fun to play that again because it had been a long time since I played it.
Yeah.
And it was cool to be able to stream it.
And you know who
That's a great
developed these games?
No.
Enos? Inus? INIS?
Innis,
Innis?
yeah.
Innis.
Innis.
Who also developed another outstanding music rhythm game called Gitaru Man.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Which is just about as weird.
And just about as good.
Mm.
And they also did Lips. Karaoke game for the Xbox 360.
I have not
Which is
played
also pretty
Lips.
Thanks for bringing us down, CJ.
Sorry.
You're like the inspiration level of Elite Beat Agents. You just brought the whole thing down.
Ugh.
Yeah.
So if you remember last week, one of the things I said was I'm probably going to take a break from the Final Fantasy Pixel remasters now that I'd finished the first one.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to spend more time on Advance Wars 1 and 2. So as soon as we were done recording last week, I went and bought Final Fantasy 2 Pixel Remaster and started playing it.
Mm-hmm.
And I've put probably 8 hours into it so far. Maybe not 8 hours. Maybe closer to 6. Have you ever played Final Fantasy 2, CJ?
I have not.
Let me tell you about Final Fantasy 2.
Please. Well, I know that you have to apparently like take damage to level up. Is that right? Or like
Yeah. So the whole
some kind of thing?
leveling system in that game is based on your actions, not based on earning experience points.
Oh, okay.
So
right.
your spells go up in level by using them.
Uh-huh.
You have to learn them, and everybody can learn. I think I don't know, is this 12 or 8 or something? Everybody can learn any spell you want, but they can only learn a certain number. And then as you use them, they go up in levels. Your weapons, your weapon proficiency starts at 1 and goes up in levels. But if you're not fighting monsters that are at a certain sort of strength level or difficulty level, and your proficiency is too high, they stop going up in levels. And yeah, like so if you're somebody who doesn't, you constantly heal your damage after a battle, or you try to keep your character's hit points topped up, their hit points will never go up because you need to take damage. If you end battles with low hit points, then you get hit point bonuses.
Oh.
Right.
I believe it was done by the same guy who ended up doing the Saga series for Square eventually, and the Saga series is weird. But you can see it in here. Anyway, so the Pixel Remaster, yeah. So I've been playing that. But the other thing
I've heard people are cheating in that game. Well, it's not cheating, I guess. Attacking their own party members.
That's been a known exploit for that game since the NES version.
Oh,
like
wow.
if you read if you read game facts and stuff like that for the original version, that's sort of the way to do it. When you start the game out, they always say like, see if you can find like a group of imps, like really low level enemies, and then get their party down to like 1 because they won't do a lot of damage, and then start attacking your own characters. And start attacking and healing and attacking and healing and attacking and healing as much as you can, because that builds up your MP, builds up your spell, builds up your attack power, builds up your HP. So yeah, but that's been a thing. That's not a Pixel Remaster thing. That is a Final Fantasy 2
That's
thing.
just a Final Fantasy 2 thing. Yeah. And I think that means I'm probably never going to play Final Fantasy.
Okay,
2.
so here's the thing. The boosts in this are different than the boosts in Pixel Remaster, the first one. You can still get the 4 times money, which is great, 4 times gold or gil or whatever we call it. But they also added there's also a boost in there that after like X number of battles, your characters will get an automatic HP boost. So it's kind of like going up a level, but it's based on being in a certain number of battles. So you don't have to sort of do that foolishness if you don't want to. Your characters HP will go up.
Good.
And then you can just boost everything. Like the weapon and MP boost and everything, like you can boost all that 4 times as well. So you can pretty much tear through it anyway. It is interesting because the first game was great. I love the first game, but narrative wise, it was pretty not amazing. And you could choose from like 8 different character classes and build your party however you wanted, and you were stuck with that. Not stuck with it, but that was your party for the whole game, and you could upgrade them like 2/3 of the way through the game.
Mm-hmm.
But with Final Fantasy II, the interesting part is when you get rid of all the weirdness as far as the level up goes, it's entirely narrative driven. It's very much more akin to what we got used to. Like, this is where the Final Fantasy series, I know it's just the second game, but this is the one that sort of set the groundwork for like the very narrative, story driven. Like, I find Final Fantasy 3 took a little bit of a different turn as well because it introduced the job systems that Final Fantasy 5 used too. But 2, if you've played the American 2, like Final Fantasy 4, and you go back and play Final Fantasy 2, now you can see where 4 came from. It's very much the same thing. It's like a big soap opera. You have 3 characters that are always in your party, and then there's a 4th character that's always rotating through based on the story. So it's kind of cool to experience it just from the standpoint of like, from an historical standpoint for the series, which I think all of these are. But to see that this is sort of where the narrative driven design first appeared in the franchise. It's not that being said, it's not amazing. It's good, but it's not, it's not like Final Fantasy 4 or 6 good. It's very early. But anyway, I've been jamming through that. If you turn the boost up, it's not quite as sort of relaxing to play as the first game, but it's not bad either. So
I'm still kind of playing through 6. I rewatched that State of Play on 16.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of excited about Final Fantasy 16. Like,
Me too.
I really like how that looks, and so I may end up picking that up.
Yep,
I'm pretty
me too.
excited about it.
I hope there's a battle pass.
Well, there is a deluxe edition.
Oh, good.
So
I was hoping they'd only let me spend $100 on the game.
So if you want to give them more money, you certainly can.
My God, do I ever?
There you go.
Yeah, no, I'm excited for it too. By the way, if you do go back to Final Fantasy 1, I meant to mention, if you have a black belt in your party, I don't know if you do or not. Anyway, if you do, don't use optimize for equipment, because when you upgrade I forget what he starts as or what he ends up as, but the black belt character anyway, when you upgrade them through the game, they become much more powerful without weapons than with. If you hit optimize, it will put a strong weapon on them, but they're actually less powerful that way.
Oh, interesting.
It's weird.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, that's what I've been playing this week.
All right then, Phil.
Yes.
What about you, sir?
Mostly I've been continuing to play Jedi Survivor.
Yeah.
I saw the tweet.
Which one?
That character that, well, I don't know what he was doing.
Oh,
the kind of just twinkle toed towards you with one arm out. Looked like he looked like his torso was playing football.
Yeah.
But he was just, I don't know what was going on with his
well,
legs.
You know what it was it was just a little glitch in the.
It was hilarious
in the animation, because it was a like a biker scout guy, and I go into a room and he was just leaning up against like a pillar. That was his pose. He was just kind of chilling out, having a conversation with some other like stormtrooper or something.
Picking up a lady.
What's that?
Picking up a lady.
Oh, absolutely. That's what troopers do, man.
You come here often? Do you come with the speeder?
Oh, you. But yeah, he was just like leaning up against a pillar when I walked in the room, and he noticed me and started charging towards me, but for some reason it didn't trigger the running animation. So his character model just rotated towards me with his hands still out on the invisible pole, and then he just kind of slid towards me. until he reached me and then went into his attack
Like
animation.
when I was watching it, all I could think of was, and I'm gonna say it was on Scooby Doo, but that standard tiptoeing,
oh yeah,
but more like, yeah, exactly. Like that's all I could hear in my
a
head.
rapid,
Was just yeah,
high pitched piano.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
funny.
Yeah, that game has apparently gotten a lot of
Taking a beating.
yeah, well, just in terms of performance issues and things like that.
Yeah.
I haven't really had any. I mean, I know they updated. There an update went out sometime last week. I did not. I haven't had any
It's the
real
PC
trouble.
version.
The PC
that
version.
is really having
Well,
trouble.
Yeah, I've heard the PC. I've heard all versions are not great.
Yeah,
but the PC one is certainly by far the worst.
Yeah.
Of the lot. But
yeah.
Yeah. The only problem I had was that little that one animation glitch, and then I had one bit where I had to reset and reload my game because I walked into like a big chamber where there was like it was like a scripted scene where you have a little bit of dialogue and then like an elevator goes down or something and then you continue on with more dialogue, and something happened and the second bit of dialogue started playing before the elevator went down. So after they finished talking, the elevator was stuck, on the higher level, so it wouldn't go down. So I was just kind of trapped. But again, I just reset and walked back into that room, and it worked fine. I didn't have any, no hard crashes or anything like that. But boy, that's a pretty looking game. It looks really nice, and the music is like really good. Like it really just it's a very good Star Wars experience, which is what I wanted from this game. So I'm still having a blast with it. I'm getting caught doing that thing I do in these types of games where it takes like significantly longer for me to get through it just because I'm running around looking at everything.
Yeah, I do that.
Just kind of enjoying the environment.
Yeah.
I have that problem with like the Uncharted's and Last of Us games. So to have something like this, but it's a Star Wars. I'm going around like a little cantina or something. It's like, oh, I'm having a good time. And they start introducing like there's a planet where you go to where one of the characters from the previous game has opened a little cantina, and it sort of ends up being your base of operations. So you have like your own little bedroom there, and it's in a little town. And as you go around to all the other planets throughout the course of the game, you find other people and talk to them, and they end up traveling back and like moving into that town. So you're sort of populating this little town as you go through the game, which is nice because then you go, every time you go back, there's just more people hanging out, and you can talk to them, and they'll give you little side quests and things. And there's a rooftop garden. You can collect seeds to grow a cute little Star Wars garden. It's a fun little game. I'm enjoying it quite a bit. So
I heard there's a side quest or something where you help some people build a board game thing. Have you gotten to that?
I haven't seen that yet.
Okay. I hear there's a side quest where you help some people with characters for their board game.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. So be on the lookout for that.
I definitely will. Yeah, there does seem to be like a fair bit of side stuff that you can do. So hopefully I will find it. Hopefully I'll have a good time with it. But yeah, I'm having a lot of fun with it. So
good.
I like a good Star Wars game.
Yes.
I'm enjoying this one quite a bit.
Did you ever play Titanfall 2? I forget.
I did not.
You didn't? Oh, that's such a good game. I mean, Respawn does good stuff.
Yeah.
So that's what made
I've heard it is good. I just never got around to playing it.
Yeah.
Probably because it wasn't Star Wars.
It's not Star Wars, I guess.
If this had if Titanfall 2 had more wampas in it,
You'd play it.
I'd be more interested.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, maybe they can get on that.
I fought a Rancor. This one's got Rancor in it. Does Titanfall have Rancors in it?
I don't think so. No.
Does Titanfall have a cute little robot that I can?
It's got robots. Yeah.
Can I change the colors of the robots to give them Skywarp colors?
No.
There we go.
Because I did that. My little BD1 buddy is all purple and black. Looks real cool.
Nice.
But,
Yeah.
There's all the different lightsaber stances I've unlocked. I believe I've unlocked all of them now. So I just unlocked the kind of Kylo Ren lightsaber style where it's got the little you got the big blade, but then there's little side beams coming out of the side. Pretty cool.
There's another Star Wars event in Fortnite going on now.
I saw that with it's all like prequel themed.
Yeah,
it's like Anakin and
indeed
Padme.
So that's right.
If I was more into Fortnite,
well, they'll get you with their Doctor Who event that's coming up. So
there it is. Is it gonna have Tom Baker in it? Is it gonna have?
It might.
Fourth, I mean, I could see them doing the fourth Doctor thing.
It might.
They might get me back in.
They might.
They might get me to play a couple more rounds if I can play as Tom Baker.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's. I mean, other than obviously I've been playing a little more Picross S9. I did a little
good.
Well, of course it is.
I've kind of fallen into a Picross hole again.
Oh yeah,
because I've been playing. I went back to the Picross Genesis and Master System game. I've been doing my clip Picross puzzles. Now, so I got most of the first one and a lot of the second one unlocked now. So yeah, I'm
good.
Working my way through that, having a blast with it, actually.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Good. I'm glad.
Picross is one of those games that it really has to click. Like once it clicks with you,
yes,
so good. Yeah.
It's a very good game, but not one that is immediately accessible.
No, although I am thankful for the number of assists and various things that game has in it, especially counting squares using the L1 R1. Well, I think it's just R1 counts squares for you.
Oh, does it?
I really like that function. I use that a lot.
Well, good.
Yeah.
I'm glad you are having a good time with it.
Temporary marks in the spaces. Yeah, I need
that. That's the little circles.
The circles, yeah.
Yes.
I use all those.
Yes, take advantage of those.
Yeah.
Absolutely good stuff. I did a little more Dead Cells streaming the other day, playing through the PlayStation version of that game. So, but yeah, like I said, most of my time was spent Star Warsing it up. So,
I see.
It was a good time.
But hey, it's Zelda week.
It is Zelda week.
Get
ready.
Tears of the Kingdom. I got my preload all ready to go.
Oh, nice.
The internet is going to be insufferable for the next 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah. That's absolutely true. Yeah.
Yep.
For sure.
I got my copy ordered, so I'm ready to go.
Nice.
Yes.
All right.
But that's it.
Well, if that's it, then I guess that means it's time for tweets.
On the half shell, they're the heroes for. In this day and age, who could ask for more? Tweet.
All right, let's do this one from Hacker Alias, Captain Logan, who says, with the poor reception of Redfall and the disappointment from Xbox leadership, Phil Spencer is confident that the strategy for Xbox is not to do what other consoles are doing. The current video game market seems to reward remakes and ports of past games on current gen, with outliers being new IP like Elden Ring and Hogwarts Legacy, which could be argued did well in part to its franchise. Yes. Does the Player One podcast crew believe that publishers are relying on remakes and ports to games instead of taking chances on establishing new IP?
Tell you what, I'm playing a lot of Advance Wars 1 and 2. Playing a lot of Final Fantasy Pixel Remaster.
Yeah.
Can't wait for Suikoden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, played through some yeah. All I'm playing is remakes.
I mean, that's any form of entertainment, right? Having a franchise that you can just bring out a new chapter in.
And
is a safer bet.
Calling out
than doing
Hogwarts and
something.
Elden Ring. I mean, they're
Yeah.
not new IP.
No.
I mean, Elden Ring, I guess, is technically, but it's Dark Souls.
But From Software is its own IP, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
At this point.
Yeah.
And yeah, Hogwarts, it's got its own thing. Plus, the developers there have a nice pedigree. So,
Although my favorite game of the year so far is indeed an original IP.
oh yeah, what's that?
That's Hi-Fi Rush.
Hi-Fi Rush.
Hi-Fi Rush is still my favorite game I've played this year. So
Yes.
yes.
Now I figure you guys probably didn't listen to or watch that interview with Phil Spencer, which everybody's talking about, on the Kind of Funny Xcast, where they talked about Redfall being a disappointment.
No,
I assume you guys didn't.
I saw
No,
the
I
internet
did not.
raging about it, but I didn't watch it.
Yeah. But
Mm.
and I think this question comes from a place where it's like Redfall being a new IP. Did they, did they, instead of making, or instead of giving Redfall its time in development to be good, did they like push it out there and instead are focusing on the big hitters, sequels?
I mean, I don't
things.
have any insight into that.
No.
That could be it, but I mean, it would make sense because this is something that was in development before Microsoft purchased them, wasn't it?
Redfall, yes, was in development before Microsoft purchased them.
Right. I mean, going back to kind of the original question, games are so expensive to make now.
Yeah.
I don't blame. And yeah, like Hogwarts, someone in the chat said it's a new IP. Yeah, okay, it's a new IP, but it's Harry Potter.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
it's being sold on the Harry Potter brand. It's not.
Yeah.
That's not the same as something like Redfall, as an example.
Right. No.
Like, yeah, I could see if it's something that's been in development for a while, they spent a lot of money on it. Yes, it probably needs more time, but at the same time, if you don't have an established IP or it's not a sequel or a remake to something that was already super popular, why risk more money on it in this environment? I personally would love to have seen and would love to see AAA developers spending more money and time on original IP for sure, but I totally get not doing it too.
Yeah, but also I think, it's hard before a game comes out or before you've announced the game, like it's hard to tell exactly how something is going to be perceived, right?
Mhm.
Like you go back to Hi-Fi Rush, perfectly good game, Phil's game of the year.
Perfectly great game.
But would it be as popular as it is now if it wasn't on Game Pass?
And do you think the expectations internally at Microsoft or at Bethesda for that game were to the level of, like, hey, this could be game of the year for somebody?
Probably not.
For a host of
I would
Player
think
One
so.
podcast, it could be their game of the year.
The only important metric that they should be
I mean, I know
worrying
that's
about.
one of the demographics they check.
Yeah.
That's
I'm
right.
I'm sure their test cases actually list us in some form.
Oh, for sure.
Definitely. I mean, I think when game development is so expensive, you have to bank on some of these established franchises. You can't only make original IP. And sometimes original IP doesn't work out. You have Forspoken. I don't think that's really worked out for Square. And Redfall obviously is not working out for Microsoft Bethesda. I think people are paying more attention to Redfall because it's a Game Pass game, because it's a Microsoft first party game, and they haven't had like a lot of games, and they need it. They need a hit, and they didn't get one in Redfall, right? But and games, just like movies, it's a hit driven business, right? The hits pay for the rest, kind of. And you can get in a situation, however, like Activision, I think, is in currently, and Ubisoft is sort of toying with, where suddenly you're so reliant on one franchise, be it Call of Duty or Assassin's Creed, where you can't afford to do anything else. And also a swing and a miss with one of the your heavy hitters could put you in a world of hurt.
Well, it'll cost a lot of people some jobs, but
and that too.
And do you think that sort of on the opposite end of that equation, that you have a player base that's not as willing to spend money on something they don't recognize? For two reasons, I would think. One is that a lot of the the Fortnite is a great example, or Sea of Thieves, or any of these service games.
Mm-hmm.
You're kind of, if you're into it, you get to a point where you're committed to it.
Yeah.
Right. And you have players now that are spending hundreds, or in CJ's case, thousands of hours. And seriously, on like 1 or 2 or 3 titles. And on top of that, the cost of games now. I know I've said this like 5 times this episode, but it's true. Games are expensive now. So it's like, do I want to spend $100 on a Dead Space remake, a remake of a game that I love and haven't played for 15 years, or however old that game is, 10 years, or Redfall? Well, Dead Space, because it's less of a risk.
Yeah, completely.
Luckily, though, the economy is in great shape, so
yeah. For sure. I mean, I think, remakes, ports, remasters, those are going to be important for video games now more than ever, because everything's so expensive to make.
But that's also the reason why I think indie games and stuff have a chance to hit big too, because
that's absolutely
dropping
true.
$15 on something or $20 on something is a much better value prospect than and saying, with the potential for possibly being disappointed by it.
Yeah.
If it only costs you $20, if that's the barrier to entry, as opposed to $100.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a no-brainer.
Well, and I think the recent failures of some of the free-to-play games that have tried and closed down, like Knockout City, like Rumbleverse, like or not Rumbleverse, I'm sorry. Rumbleverse. I'm thinking multiverses. I meant Rumbleverse. You can look at that, like, free-to-play games are no longer, if they ever really were, like a sure thing, right? So
I don't think they haven't for a long time.
Not for a long time. To me, with multiplayer games, you almost have to start with a very focused sort of core loop. Like, are we going to be able to get this right and attract a community, and then can we build on it, right?
And do we have a good plan to monetize it?
And that too. Yeah.
Core loop's great, but if you got no way to monetize it further.
Well, oftentimes that monetization step comes right after launch, in the case of like Lego 2K Drive, where you get people on a podcast like Mr. Greg Seward decrying that. But yeah. And I think as more studios, get bought and whatnot, you do end up seeing like a lot of indie studios starting up with people who used to be at Naughty Dog, or used to be at Blizzard, or used to be at other places. And a lot of what those studios are doing are smaller, more focused experiences, and are really interesting games. So, that it is worth keeping an eye on, for sure, if the ABK deal doesn't end up going through. Who knows?
We're gonna be talking about that 5 years from now.
I know. Yeah. At this point, I don't really care what happens to ABK. If Activision Blizzard goes out of business, Atari will buy the rights to Pitfall, and we will be playing Pitfall from Atari. Anyway, let's do another tweet. What do you think about that?
You're in charge.
Okay.
Okay, so apparently, Scoop Jessica wanted to get our opinion about the hot new Xbox controllers that are inspired by.
I think it's the other way
Some-
around.
Is that what it is? It's nail polish.
I think it's nail polish that's inspired by Xbox controllers or something.
Is that
like
what
that.
it is?
What?
But anyway, there's an Xbox tweet from May 1st that says the sun isn't the only thing that's hot. Xbox and Opie products
Yep.
bring
It's a
you
collection.
a
Yeah.
stunning new controller inspired by Opie's Summer Make the Rules collection. Okay, so you're right. It's Xbox.
I wonder if it's
Inspired
OP or it's like
by-
OPI. I don't know how you're supposed
Play
to say
the
this.
palette.
Yep.
Inspired by fingernail polish. Yeah. I don't know. These controllers are a little bit too shiny for me. I like a matte finish.
Hmm.
It has to be dull for me.
I mean, they're nice colors.
They are nice colors.
Yeah.
I
Brightest I'm
don't
going is,
generally
I got-
paint my nails.
I got this
but-
blue, the shock blue Xbox controller. That's as bright as I go.
I mean, they look nice.
Okay.
I like that purple. You
Right.
know, I love me a purple video
Purple's
game
always good, yeah.
console.
I do love
Can't-
that one of them is called Racing for Pinks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah,
All-
You had me at Halo. Can't CTRL me.
oh the purple
are the
one is
names of the-
apparently
Are those the names
Newberry.
of the controllers?
Yeah, those are the names of the polish.
Oh, the
CJ.
polish. Oh, I'm
Yes.
sorry.
These are the polish names. They're not selling controllers. They're selling nail polish.
Okay.
I don't. Yeah,
Hmm.
to answer somebody in the chat, I don't paint my nails. I've had my nails painted
Mhm.
Yeah.
by my daughters. Yes,
Sure.
multiple times, and they can
Mhm.
continue to do it whenever they want. But no, I don't paint them myself
There you
because
go.
I do a terrible job. They do a better job than me. That's the reason why.
It looks like very nice nail polish. So it is
There you
the
go.
nail polish that's being sold and not the controllers.
Yep. I don't know if
Okay.
controllers are. Yeah, Quest for Quartz, Pixel Dust, Racing for Pinks, Susie is my avatar, Trading Paint, Heart
Mhm.
and Console. The Pass is always greener.
Yeah.
Sage Simulation, You Had Me at Halo,
Mhm.
Can't Control Me, Achievement Unlocked, and Newberry.
disappointed. I'm disappointed the red polish isn't called Red Ring of Death.
I feel like that's not something they want to call attention to.
Yeah,
I'm just
exactly.
saying.
Probably not. Do you
It looks
guys
like-
these sort of look like Design Lab controllers. Have you guys ever dabbled in the Xbox Design Lab?
No,
have
I,
not.
Like
I wanted
made-
to.
A controller or your own custom color?
You know, for this generation, I don't have a second controller for either of those consoles, the
Oh, really?
PlayStation or the
Oh.
Xbox. But no, if and when I do get a second Xbox controller, I'll probably do the Game Lab thing,
The Design Lab? Yeah.
Design Lab thing. Yeah,
Yeah, I would too.
You can get your gamer tag printed right on the controller.
there you go.
Oh wow, Mike!
So then everyone will know that it is yours.
This controller belongs
There are many
to
like
Farts
it,
McGillicuddy.
This one is mine.
Exactly.
Farts McGillicuddy.
Oh well, Farts
I can't believe that
McGillicuddy.
was free.
The 420.
Right, there you go.
There you go. All right. Let's do this one from Hacker Alias. I finally watched, who says, I'm listening to old episodes and I'm wondering if Greg ever broke down and played Mario Maker at some point. Are there
Nope.
other older games that you guys came to much later that were well received upon release? Greg, have you ever played
Probably
Mario Maker?
no.
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 Why were you
Because-
so anti Mario
No,
Maker,
I had
Greg?
zero interest in it.
but it's got like 100 Mario levels designed by Nintendo.
Yeah. Okay.
Why do you
Pretty-
hate fun,
pretty
Greg?
good. Yeah, why do you hate fun?
With what was that Media Molecule series called?
Little
Little
Big Planet.
Little Big Planet. I really tried to get into that.
Well, this one
And
doesn't have floaty jumps.
Yeah, I know. But it wasn't the gameplay that I didn't like about it. I shouldn't even say I didn't like it. I did like it, but I'm not interested in building levels, first of all.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'm not nearly
understand
creative
that.
enough to do it well. And although I will say, like, in those games, I remember my friend Jim was really into them, and he would every now and then would show me, like, especially levels that somebody had themed on, like a classic movie or something like that. There was some really creative stuff in those games, like really impressive. But then with the Mario Maker, again, I'm not interested in the creation side of it.
Mhm.
And then like the levels that were popular and are popular are, I don't remember the term for it, Kaizo, which again, I will watch people play sometimes, but I
Yeah.
have zero interest in trying any of that.
Yeah, I can understand that. Although you do get stuff like who's that guy on Twitter? Metroid Mike, I think is his name, where he made made Super Mario Brothers 5 in Mario Maker.
Yeah.
And actually it's a very well balanced set of levels that are very much like inspired by the designs that Nintendo had back in the day. And they are not at all like Kaizo style levels or they're super difficult or anything like that. And that kind of thing is definitely worth going into Mario Maker and playing, just because it's using the mechanics you're familiar with in a really new and interesting way. And it's not like overloaded with a bunch of bad, like it's not Super Meat Boy suddenly, which I think Mario Maker levels suddenly
That's what they're
turn
like. Yeah.
they turn a corner into Super Meat Boy, and you're like, well, I don't like that. Like, that's not what I
Right.
want. I want a balanced
I
level.
find it
And there
entertaining
are
to
those
watch.
in Mario Maker, right? And then Nintendo's own levels that they did for Mario Maker are that.
Right. And I mean, I find it entertaining to watch. Don't get me wrong, but I don't want to play them.
Certainly. All right, let's wrap up with this one. We'll save some of these for next week. I know a lot of people tweeted in questions, so thank you very much for doing that. We will end with this one from listener Chris Tilton, who says, I might be too late, but I'm at Disneyland and would like to know your top 3 favorite rides, including Star Wars areas, if you've been. I haven't been on the Star Wars rides yet, but Indy, Pirates, Thunder Mountain are my favorites. I like Space Mountain, but it's over too quick and you can't see much. So there you go.
I have not been to Disneyland.
You've never been to Disneyland?
No,
really?
I've been to Disney World multiple times, but I've never been to. It's one of the regrets I have about when we moved to San Francisco, I was only there for like 8 months. But I wish I had driven down and gone to Disneyland. But it just never did.
Yeah.
So we went late last year. I love the new Star Wars ride. It's fantastic. I forget what it's called, but it's fantastic. I'm a big fan of
the Resistance.
Rise of the Resistance. That's it. A big fan of Expedition Everest. That's a great roller coaster ride. I don't know what my third one would be. I'd have to think about it while you guys are giving your lists.
I haven't been to a Disney park in a long while, but I really enjoyed Star Tours at Disneyland. I went on that. My family went on a trip to California in like the late 80s, and we stayed at the Disneyland Hotel. And
cool.
That was the first time I rode Star Tours. I think it was a new ride at the time too. It was fairly new. And so I love that. I love Space Mountain actually. And then I like the Haunted Mansion a lot.
When we went,
I'm not really a Pirates of the Caribbean kind of guy, which I know seems very opposite.
Yeah, what's up with that?
Yeah, that is weird.
To what I would maybe normally say, but I really like the Haunted Mansion.
When we went last year, the Haunted Mansion broke down while we were on it.
Oh, really?
I mean, doesn't it
Yeah,
always?
sucks. It was happening a lot. Oh, you know,
I've had that
the
happen.
Aerosmith, the Rock and Roller Coaster.
Oh, the Rock and Roller
fantastic
Coaster
as
was
well.
fun too.
It's really good. When I went to, so the one time I've traveled to Europe, went to Paris once for work, and I remember like we were only there for some game conference. My boss and I and his wife were there, and I didn't get to do any sightseeing because we literally flew in. Conference started the next day. We were there in meetings for 3 days, and then we were flying out really early the next morning, but we had a lot of time to kill the final night because I think the conference ended like 2 in the afternoon or 3 in the afternoon. And my boss shows up at my door at the hotel, and he's like, my wife and I are going to Disneyland. I forget what it's, I think it's just Paris Disneyland now. It used to be Euro Disney way back.
Right.
But you know, we're just gonna go for the night. You want to come? Because we were flying out in like 5 hours. It's like, yeah, sure, let's do it. So we hopped the train. We went to Disneyland, and I mean, it's very similar, a lot of similar rides. But I remember Space Mountain. It's all like steampunk themed. Like when you come up to it, you actually it looks like the cars are being fired out of a gun, like the barrel of a gun, and so the whole side of the building is there's windows in it, so you can actually see the carts going up to begin the whole process. But it's all decked out like in a steampunk style, and the sub from 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea is actually outside of it too. So it's like the Jules Verne thing. So it's I really liked that, and it's got loops, which I don't believe Space Mountain does in Florida.
It doesn't. I don't think either.
I wasn't expecting it.
Yeah,
because it's
I don't
dark.
think either California or Florida do that.
Yeah, it's dark, and when you're not expecting it, all of a sudden, like your chin's in your chest. But it was a good time. It was a really good time.
Nice.
But I love Disney World. I really love Disney World. So it's hard to pick three. Those two.
Phil, what about you, sir?
I've never been to Disneyland. I've been to Disney World once back when I was in high school.
Yeah.
I've just never really been into theme parks, so
no.
I have no. I'm sorry.
Got nothing.
Nothing. I've never even been to Legoland.
That's weird.
That is weird.
If I was going to go to any theme park, but yeah.
You know what else was great was the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Was it?
Ride. Oh, it was so good.
I went and saw that
wasn't
movie
that the
last
former
night.
Tower of Terror?
No, Tower of Terror is still there.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah. And I love all the classics
in Florida,
too.
I think it's not there in California, right?
No, maybe
it got replaced somewhere.
Tower of Terror. I love all the classics too, though. You know, like the Haunted Mansion and Pirates of the Caribbean and all that stuff is, you know, Big Thunder Mountain. It's great. Whatever the log flume ride is going to be, I think that's going to become a Frog Princess.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think it's being rethemed. We were actually, I have them right here. I don't know if it's been shut. Nobody knows. It might have been shut down now, but when we went, we weren't sure because they are shutting it down so they can rework it. It's based on Brer Rabbit.
Yeah, Splash Mountain.
Splash
Mountain. Yeah,
because it was like all Song of the South themed.
All Song of the South. Yeah.
Can't imagine why they'd want to change that.
Yeah, exactly. So
a little problematic.
But anyway, we went and we were happy that it was still open because my kids really wanted to try it, right, and say that we got to go on it before it was shut down.
Yeah,
and so we did, and it was one of the last rides we went on when we were there. And when we left, it's like, man, we should buy some kind of merchandise or something. So we went to the gift shop. There is no merchandise left. Yeah, because they announced it was closing like over a year ago, and when they announced it was closing, that's when they stopped making merchandise. So the gift shop has no Song of the South stuff, or even like Brer Rabbit and Brer Fox and Brer Bear and everything like that. So the only thing we could get was they had a penny pressing machine that still had Splash Mountain themed images you could just. So I have 2 pennies here on my desk. One has Brer Rabbit on it, and one has one of the vultures on it that have Splash Mountain logos on them too. That's it. That's all we could get.
They
Anyway,
should just have one
going on.
penny pressing machine that has all the racist stuff. Get like the Dumbo crows. Get the Fantasia little centaurs in there.
Dumbo crows were not the most racist thing in Dumbo. You haven't seen that movie in a while.
I haven't.
I'm guessing.
I
Yeah.
haven't.
Yeah.
Get the Peter Pan Native Americans in there.
Oh,
And Lady and the Tramp.
What was the Lady and Tramp thing? I forget.
Siamese cats.
Oh,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, no, they were. Yeah, it's not great.
Woo.
Yeah.
Man, good old timey racism.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I don't need to go to Disney. I got the only thing worth getting from the Disney parks, which is, of course, some chance cubes here.
Mhm. The first night we were there, we went to.
Have you seen these?
Yeah,
Have you seen my chance cubes?
and I saw those in the store. I was like, I got to take a picture of this for Phil,
Absolutely.
and I still have the picture here in front of me.
I
Actually,
got some.
There
One
you
of my buddy Justin at work got me these.
go.
yep.
There you go. Put these back in my
I love
sack.
Disney World.
There we go.
I need to go. I think
Too
Charlotte
expensive
is
to go.
Charlotte's at an age where I think she would appreciate it a lot. So
She's the perfect age,
yeah,
as long as
Yeah,
she's not
even-
scared of roller coasters and stuff.
Even
She's
Tim's
never
never been
been
like
on a roller coaster. So.
My ex-wife's family was and is Disney crazy. My
Mm.
mother-in-law goes every year.
yeah.
And we went there on our honeymoon. My ex-wife and I went there on our honeymoon. And then when the kids were born, they took us down as a family vacation. But my kids were too young to remember. Like my oldest, I forget, I think she was 10, and she was scared of everything. We went on Pirates of the Caribbean, and Pirates of the Caribbean has a little drop right at the beginning that she wasn't ready for, and it was dark, and it freaked her out, and that was the end of the day. She had to go back to the hotel.
Oh, jeez.
Meanwhile, my son was not afraid of anything, and he wanted to go on all of it. And my youngest was still in a stroller, so she couldn't do any of it. So they have no memory of it. So when we went last year, it was great because, of course, my two oldest are teenagers, and my youngest is 10. So they're all old enough now. My youngest didn't go on a lot, but she went on what she wanted, and the two oldest ones were just like, we want to do everything. Doesn't matter how scary it is. The only thing we didn't get to do was Tower of Terror because it kept breaking down, so we couldn't get into it. But it was great. It was a good time. I love that place.
Nice. Alrighty, and that is our show for this week. Thank you very much for listening. If you have a question for us or would like to comment on something you heard, you can direct that to @P1 Podcast on the Twitters or @P1 Podcast at mastodon.social. And if you prefer the old way, the web 1.0 way of communicating with us, you can go to our website at player1podcast.com. There you will find our contact information. You'll find blog entries about Sega CD stuff from Mr. Greg Stewart. You'll find Generation 16 episodes as they happen, including the episode about I Will on the Laser Active Entertainment System.
True King of
that
London.
you just published not too long ago. Yeah. You'll also find show notes and links to all the things that we talked about on the show, and a link to our Discord server where you can discuss this episode with us and our other listeners.
You should use the voicemail line back up
Yeah. Those were the days.
so we can start taking calls again.
If anyone doesn't know, we used to have a voicemail line.
You
We
could call us
You could.
for just
Yeah,
on
we'll
the
have to do that
phone.
at some
for just $2.99 a minute. We would tell you stories. You would hear recordings of us
Nope. None of that is true.
No, none of that.
telling harrowing
that.
tales of our old EGM days.
Nope.
Ask your parents before you call. If you'd like to subscribe to the Player One Podcast, you can do so by visiting player1podcast.com or by loading up your favorite podcast listening app. We're also on Stitcher Radio. We're on Spotify. You can like us on Facebook. Yeah. You can watch video archives of our show on the youtubes.com/P1 Podcast. Or you can watch us live most weeks on not on Twitters anymore, right?
No.
Twitter doesn't
We're
work
not
no
paying
more.
for that.
They shut off their API access, so
Yeah,
no Twitter broadcast.
Forget about that. But you can watch us on the Facebooks. You can watch us on the Twitch.televisions. You can watch us on the YouTubes, of course. Tell you what, just follow our Twitter or Mastodon accounts to find out when we are doing our next live show. Typically, it is Sunday evenings at 5:30 Pacific time. So join us. Oh, won't you? And I'll tell you what, if you like what you've heard, and how could you, head over to patreon.com/P1podcast. Throw a few shekels our way. It'll pay you for a trip to Disneyland for all of us.
Not at all. Not even close.
Give us enough money. We'll fly all three of us out to Disneyland. We'll do a live
for the show. Yeah, live recording.
Right.
On each ride. We'll be in the same cart for each ride. And
absolutely.
You know what? This is a plan. I like this plan.
Yeah.
I'm excited to be a part of it.
We'll all go down Splash Mountain. We'll flash the camera.
Splash Mountain's closed.
We'll all go down Star Tours and flash the camera. Doesn't matter. You know what? We'll just walk around topless through Disneyland. They can't kick us out for that, can they?
It's Florida. You can do whatever you want.
Not Disneyland. That's California.
Oh yeah, that's right. Oh, then you can definitely do anything you want.
Yeah. So if you want us walking around nude in Disneyland, just send us your money.
Where did we go nude? We were topless a minute ago.
Halfway there.
Yeah, but the better half.
Maybe for you.
Yeah, definitely for me.
No, your Patreon money helps keep our show going and streaming and all that stuff. And I'll tell you what, friendos, we don't just take your money and run off to theme parks. We give back. Every week we record a special bonus episode right after this where we play games, crack-wise, having fun doing all the stuff we can't do on the regular show. CJ, do we have a game this week?
We do, Phil.
Oh, do tell.
It is a Cinco de Mayo themed Jeopardy quiz. Yes. And
yeah,
this one's going to be interesting. It
all in Spanish?
Three categories, and it is about three categories. The first one is about real Mexican heroes.
Okay.
About video game characters that hail from Mexico.
Okay.
Unreal Mexican locations, games with settings involving Mexico.
Oh.
And then basic non-game trivia about your neighbor to the south. Entry-level questions about Mexico that don't directly relate to video games, which I think
your neighbor to the south.
Very true. I mean, they're a neighbor to your south.
I mean, there's a lot to the south of you.
I don't consider
2 houses down.
People 2 houses down.
Still a neighbor.
It's not directly south, but it's certainly south.
Definitely not directly south from me.
I mean, it's south though.
I think directly south from me is straight to Antarctica.
So we're going to see, but Hacker Alias.
That's not south. That's down.
Sir Alexander says that if we finish with above 0 points, then we have won his challenge. So I'm
okay.
That's our bar. It's a low bar, but it's a bar, and we'll see if we can clear it.
Well, we'll see what we can do.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Thank you to Sir Alexander for that. People may want to listen to the after show this week to see how well we do.
Will it be muy bien?
Straight south from me is either Puerto Rico or Venezuela. I can't tell which.
Really?
It's not Mexico.
Well, anyway, that's our after show game.
Okay. Well, please join us for that. And I'll tell you what, if you have a couple bucks left over, head over to patreon.com/Greg Seward to help support Greg's outstanding, and it is outstanding, web series about North America's favorite runner-up of the Sega Genesis.
Thank you, Philip. And if you are a supporter of the $5 variety,
so cheap,
you get access to the Weekly Commute, which is a weekly vlog that I do talking about the creation of the different projects I'm working on, mainly Generation 16, but also the other videos that I'm working on, like Let's Read videos for Expert Gamer, Player One Podcast racing videos, of course, Generation 16, all kinds of fun stuff. Working on a Ridge Racer video right now. And I've been going through a bunch of my previous reviews. This last week, I looked at the review on Gaming Age for Hexen for the N64. Fun
Oh.
fact, that was one of the reviews that actually got me on some mailing lists for the first time ever.
Oh,
I sent
nice.
that to
Very nice.
GT Interactive, to Lance over at their PR firm, and he's like, "Yeah, that's cool. We'll start sending you stuff."
Mm.
It was great.
Excellent.
Please check it out. Please support.
nice.
Okay.
All right. I
That's it.
guess that's it.
That
CJ,
appears to be it.
Uh-huh.
thank you so much.
Thank you, Phil.
Oh, absolutely. Gregory,
Yo,
thank you as well.
thank you, Philip.
And as always, a big old thank you to you. Yes, you, a wonderful, wonderful listener. Every single one of you, no matter who you are, we are thanking you. Remember, as always, take care of yourself, your loved one, your family, your friends. Do what you got to do to be safe. Be kind to all around you. And golly, we hope to see you next week. Goodbye, friends.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.